Hi, my name is Jessica Jackson Sanders, and welcome to my class today. My degree program is Bachelor's of Educational Studies with an emphasis on adult and youth education and a minor in education. Today I want to talk to you guys about the teenage brain. And actually, I'm going to focus on talking to the adults about the teenage brain. I don't know if you guys are like me, who have a teenager at home, or you actually work with a teenager. Well, if you're ever wondering, why do they do the things that they do? Like, are they crazy? Are they just trying to get under our skin? Are they trying to give us gray hair? What is it? What makes them make the decisions that they make? And how can we, as adults in their life, make those decisions better and healthier and safer for them? Let's get started. First, I want to talk to you about what we call the amygdala. The amygdala is a part of the brain. The part of the brain that focuses on ration, emotions, and also fear. So a lot of times when our teenagers are making choices and decisions, they're using that frontal lobe and they're not actually processing the things that they're doing because they're still in the developmental stage of their brain growth. So as the adults in their lives, we are the brakes to their cars. I like to use the analogy that a teenage brain is like a car on a track going 100 miles an hour. Well, if your car was going 100 miles an hour, what would happen? We'd probably get pulled over by the police. But we don't want our kids to get in trouble like that. So we're going to be the brakes that are going to help our kids be able to make wise decisions and utilize different parts of their brain. So first I wanted to talk about what we can do as parents to help our kids make good decisions. Well, one thing that we can do to help our kids make good decisions is talk through decisions. Instead of always making it about, I'm the adult, do what I'm telling you to do, like I do with my very own teenager, we can help them be a part of the decision-making process, which kind of looks like having a conversation, asking them what maybe they might be interested in, and also talking to them about the consequences of said decisions. Also, another thing we could do for our teenagers is provide boundaries. Their brains are still in development, and so right now, even though they don't like it and they probably give us a struggle, boundaries are important. Without boundaries, our teenagers can get into all types of trouble, which can affect them in adult life and also in their work career when they get older. And none of us want our kids living with us forever. So we have to help set safe and parental boundaries. Also, stay connected with your teenager. Once you stay connected with your teenager, they'll feel more comfortable talking to you. They'll feel more comfortable coming to you and sharing. When you don't really open yourself to knowing what's going on with them or maybe judging a little bit, they're not going to want to come and talk to us. They're going to want to stay away. They're not going to feel safe. They're going to use that irrational part of their brain, the emotional part, which is again the amygdala. I want to show you guys a picture of what the brain actually looks like from a teenage perspective. I'll be right back. Here's a view of the teenage brain. The prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex performs executive functions such as behavioral control, attention, and decision making. A lot of our teenagers are working from the prefrontal cortex. When they get upset or easily distracted by something, that's where these functions are coming from. Here's an actual view of a real brain for the teenager. We have the frontal lobe, motor cortex, sensory, partial lobe, the occipital lobe, and the temporal lobe. As you can see, the frontal lobe, like I was speaking earlier, the prefrontal cortex, both have big parts in playing in decision making for our teenagers. Let's talk about a quick story of decision making using the teenage brain. and how an adult probably could have helped this teenager make a better decision. Well, I have a teenager, 8th grade boy. Not so popular, but has a pretty decent group of friends. Well, he's leaving class and walking to his next class, and he gets there and realizes he has a substitute for the day. Substitutes are hard even for the most well-behaved students. Well, a group of his friends decide to dare him to take the class from Fish Nemo out of the tank and throw him out of the window before the substitute comes back into the classroom. Well, the substitute's in the hallway doing hall duty while the kids are coming to the classroom, so she's not really monitoring the room. Because of endorphins and adrenaline and just wanting to be cool and the rallying behind him of his friends to do this thing, he kind of had second thoughts about it because he knew it wasn't really right. But he didn't want to let his friends down, and he didn't want to seem like he was a punk. So he was using his prefrontal cortex to make not a rational decision. So he took the fish out of the tank, he opened the window, and he threw the fish out into the courtyard. The fish died, obviously. The teacher came back the next day and was extremely disappointed. Well, in that moment, he realized he had done something extremely wrong. He realized that he had hurt only not his teacher, but his classmates, because they actually loved and cared about that fish. They had had that fish the whole school year. Well, as adults, we can help our students make better choices and be able to stand up in situations like that by doing some of the things we talked about earlier in this video, encouraging, helping our students make decisions even when we're not there, setting boundaries and guidelines, and also having an open pathway for our students and our children to come and talk to us when they're struggling with things. Because maybe if he would have had those things, maybe he would have made a better choice. Or maybe he wouldn't have, because he's a teenager. And sometimes teenagers don't make the best choices. Remember, their brains aren't even fully developed until 25 years old. From 12 to 25, our brains are still developing. So think about that. You know some adults who probably don't make the best choices because their brains, if they're not to 25, are still developing.